G'day viewers, it's Railroader. What day is this? 16, I think. We're going to look at some highlights. This took actually about 16, 17 hours of gameplay, so we're going to do it in 40 minutes. Ha. So what did we start with? Well, shunting, of course. Trying to think where this even is. Could be Ella, I think. See one of our trains coming in on a flare. Coming down from Bryson, probably. Ready to pick up some cars that I set out earlier on. You can see it's 15:59 in the day, so we're a fair way in by the time we're doing this. Might not have thought about it at the start. It's kind of mean. Get rid of the flare now that we stopped. It looks remarkably like number 3, our passenger locomotive, shunting at Bryson, getting ready to go and get it set. On the next run that's coming up this Sunday, we're going to have a bit of a long one on our hands, because sitting down in the staging tracks is rather a lot. I think I might have gone the wrong way then. Bugger. It's one of those things you quickly realise it and go, no one's watching, it's fine. Well, there was an awkward transition. It does kind of look like Ella, doesn't it? Yep. Now, number 2's got to go and grab some of the cars that are also heading down to Silver for the staging. I left it sitting this far back deliberately, I think, to have room to put the other cars on top. And I think I had to do some other messing around here too. Might have even screwed myself at one point, taking cars into the siding that I didn't need to. Actually, I think these cars are actually supposed to go in here. Maybe. It's been a while. This was days ago. Of course, while I'm listening to this, I'm listening to some particularly good techno. But I can't share that with you because YouTube would bite me. So do you like watching shunting? Guess you must do, you're here. It's basically a day of shunting. That's what Railroader is. Shunting. Shunting. More shunting. And then for something completely different, perhaps a little bit of shunting. Of course, if you're an American, you're watching this, you're screaming at your screen right now going, it's switching! Would you be at all surprised to know we're going to go back the other way now? Don't be too surprised if you switch back to Bryson soon, because I can see that the passenger train's pretty much ready to get picked up. Tugger, tugger, tugger goes number 2. It's weird how the lights on the locomotives change direction as it's coming to a stop when it's shunting. Maybe that should wait until you see what you actually command it to do. That might be better. I found since the update as well that the game's not as responsive to commands anymore. It's like it deliberately ignores them sometimes. And the other thing I found there, I wasn't really having too many problems with trains getting stuck when you were shunting things, but they put some fixes out that mean it now happens to me. That tends to suggest they didn't know what the real cause of the problem actually was. We'll leave Ella soon. Maybe. The clouds look like Mount Fuji. With a big dog on top. Must be time to leave Ella. Go on, get out of here. And of course it's not. And then I figured out, oh yeah. Now we try again. There it goes, brakes are coming off. You can see the brake shoes releasing off the wheels there. It's weird that there's good brake shoe animation, but half the time the wheels don't go round. Off we go, out of Ella, slowly but surely. I'm starting to debate, do I get a diesel for a bit of variety? Here's our passenger loco number 3. Coming onto its train at Bryson to make the first run. Actually, it couldn't be the first run, it must be the third run of the day, because it's 4 o'clock. Now you may be about to notice, assuming this is the passenger train, that it's suddenly red. Oh, I felt like it. No, I haven't done that yet. It's still a goods train. Lots of stuff going back to silver. Lots and lots and lots. There's the red passenger carriages. I don't know why I decided to make them red, I just did. Victorian Railways, I suppose. Looks good, doesn't it? Which one's coming now, do you reckon? I can't see the preview, so I'm watching it with you. Ah, it's our red passenger train again. I kind of wish you could do more than just paint them. Oh yeah, this is at Whittier when I realised that I actually needed to set some cars out here. I had to back them up. Actually, this is where I screwed myself by having a train that was too long for the sidings. Because I've got to go and get all that stuff that's sitting over there, and we've got to put some cars in, and off I go with 2 cars going, it'll be right, mate. Was it? Watch and see. Look at those nice purple flowers in the front there. Surprised some ADHD kid hasn't been in and eaten them. If you're an ADHD kid and you're watching, purple flowers. Okay, this is a good camera angle. I clearly thought this through cinematically. This might be one of those moments where I forgot to stop recording. Now I've put it together. It's all too late, really. You're just going to have to watch the grass move. You can fast forward if you want to. I won't mind. Oh, there we go. Finally realised it. But, you know, I haven't realised that I'm actually still recording at this point. And I'm going flying through the air in a very uncinematic way. Here we go. Transition to a more cinematic shot. This is better. So we're just going to reach in and snaffle these cars. Oh, I remember why I brought these ones down here. These are actually cars for further down the line that I forgot to set out further down the line. So we're taking them back towards silver to set them out where they belong. So of course I need them on the front so I can get to them from the locomotive. This is my thinking anyway. And of course this is proving really good so far because, look, oh, clearly everything's good. It all fits. Prepare for clunk. Clunk. The impossibly clean freight carriages. I think one of these had to stay behind or something. Wish I could share the music I'm listening to. It's quite good. But I can't. There we go, a variable number of cars again. Sometimes when you say 5 cars, it moves 1 car. Sometimes when you say 5 cars, it moves 10. I haven't quite figured out how it figures it out. Off we go, back out to the main line. It's just one of those situations. I clearly clicked it, but nothing's happened. There we go. It's like sometimes it sits there waiting to see what it's going to do to finish the last direction before it takes note of the new direction. And of course, if you've told it to shunt for 10 cars, something else that happened in the last update, and then it moves to 7 and couples, it'll still try and move the next 3. Looks like I've managed to successfully get the train together without breaking anything. Wonder if I'm going to coal and water it. Don't seem to be going too hard on the speed, so maybe that's what I'm going to do. Let's see. Yes, opening the hatch. There we go. I go, well, that didn't work well. Better go into manual. Of course, it's a bloody heavy train, so getting it moving is a bit interesting. Once you get it moving, though, it's fine. And I'm going to stop that big heavy train with the independent brake, and it seems to work, but I'm not lined up. At this point, I'm probably looking slightly disappointed, going, why isn't that lined up? This was supposed to be the perfect cinematic shot. And then I've looked up here and gone, well, bugger, I went too far. Forgot I'm recording again, clearly. Doing well here. At this point, the repair bloke in the shed's probably cacking his pants. Watering must have got boring. Prepare for clunkage. Clunkage there is. Brakes go on, brakes go off, brakes go on, brakes go off. What's it doing? Off we go. If it works. Oh, look at that. Look at those wheels not going around. Glad we didn't wait for the whole train. That might have been a while. So we're heading out here, and I noticed the braking bar go yellow and go, oh yeah. Track's not set. I hope this train's on the outside track or it's going to take my head off. This is called High-Speed American Freight. Got to be an end soon, surely. Flat car, boxcar, gondola, hopper, boxcar. Yay! Oop, setting the track back, being nice. Comes the passenger train quickly catching up with our freight train. This could be problematic later. At least I remember to set the track for it. I don't know why I keep one of my more powerful locos on the passenger train when I leave the little one doing all the hard work with the logs. I'm getting pretty close to opening up the coal mine, so I'm going to have to get bigger engines soon. I'm thinking, for a bit of variety, I might just get a GP9 or a pair of GP9s for the coal train. Then I've just got to worry about diesel fuel, not so much about water. Oh, look at that. Passenger train's just following along in the same block. That's a bit naughty. Fortunately, the AIs don't seem to ever run into each other, which is good. All hail the Grand Thomas Valley. Comes our freight train, so just round the corner from here it's going to have to shunt those front carriages out. Which, interestingly enough, since the sawmill aren't the front carriages anymore. I don't know what's going on there. This seems painful, just getting whacked in the head repeatedly. And here comes the passenger carriage train, which I've chucked out a flare just to give it a bit of charm and ambiance. Very cinematic. Doesn't get better than that, really, does it? No. Ah, this is where we got to put those cars out. And I stopped the passenger train further back, knowing that it wouldn't actually approach this one anyway. Because I didn't want to take the chance of having to push cars back or something like that. Can you see all my cars that I wanted to keep on the front of the train are? That's right, they're not on the front. Oh well. Yes, those two. Them. Yeah. Hovering over them really doesn't help you much. Bringing the whole train down to minimise the amount of buggering around, moving back and forth while we're shunting. Now, both of these cars do indeed end up here. Of course, there's a building in the way, so you can't uncouple them. Such cinematic camera work. Jerky, jerky. So if you count them, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 cars to the points. So will 5 class kilo points? Let's find out. Yes, that's right. Stick your head in a tree. Very good. That is the bendiest tree in the world. After I found out what schist is, it's basically rocks. So I could just say it's slate, mica and rocks, but no, they've got to call it schist. Now you notice that 5 cars cleared the points so well, didn't it? Even though there were actually 5 cars to this point. Now what are we going to do? We're going to pull that one out first? That'd be the smart thing to do, surely. Looks like that's what we're doing. Can't really even see how far this video's actually got to go. Actually, I can. Yes, I've got the counter on OBS. I can see it there. We're over halfway, folks. It's all right. You got this far, you might as well stay to the end. If you haven't tried Railroader, it is a very interesting game because it is, while it's kind of an empire builder, it's not really. It's not like a city builder where you've got to put all this stuff together. It's all here for you already. But you actually have to run the railway. So you've got to shunt things, you've got to move things, you've got to get stock around, you've got to fulfill contracts. You've got to not bugger it up too much. Try and keep to time. Try not to delay your passenger trains too much like I am right now because they get upset. Why's my head pink? Let's have a little more light. There we go. Now my head's not pink. I suppose it still is, but not as pink. Alright. Switch is thrown over. Even I call them switches now. Points. Now we haven't left our cars behind yet, so we're getting that one out, putting it on the train. Obviously wasn't feeling adventurous to just give it a kick and hope it caught up with the rest of the train. I do that sometimes. So if you wanted to equate shunting to something, it's basically a little bit Monty Python-esque. It is shunting up and down the square. So we haven't quite finished shunting yet. So we got that car out. Got to put these ones in now. Ding-a-ling's got his bell going, as they do. Oh, we've successfully put one car out. Didn't we have two to dump here? Well, looks like they're buggering off though. Oh no, the other one goes further down the line, doesn't it? Yes. Silly me. Off you go. Get out of here. Let the passengers come in. Of course they can't because they're stuck behind a flare. You'd have to think at some point there's going to be a bridge across that river. Otherwise that road's basically just a big jump into the end. Oh, more freight cars. Yay. Why am I carting a full coal car around? Seems a weird thing to do. We stopping again? No, still going. I'm tipping I've done something clever and here comes the passenger train. And like your average railway, it's gonna block the road. Does it need to? No. Is it gonna? Yes. Why? Because it can. Alright, our invisible passengers have stopped and they can all go out here at the little station. Ooh, finally some logs. The log loading point is loading at a reasonable speed, but the unloading seems to have gotten slower lately. Pink again. Off we go through the forest. What do you see on your train ride today? Trees. Anything else? More trees. Must have seen something else. Yeah. Horizontal trees. Dead ones. goes our trainload of toothpicks. Heading out into the wilderness. Ah, lovely picturesque shot from up on top of the lift at the sawmill. Be really cool if this starts to work one day and suck logs in and chop them up and put them out the back as planks. That would be really good. Starting to get some picturesque sun. The first hints of God rays coming through the trees there. Got about 10 minutes left to finish the day. Which is weird because I didn't actually finish the day until just before starting to put this together. Naturally enough, we're shunting those into the siding for the sawmill to process incredibly slowly. They load slowly, they process slowly. It's almost as though the game is trying to force you to buy another set of skeleton log cars so that you can have two of them on the go like I do with the pulpwood. But at the moment, this satisfies the contract. Just getting the logs here by midnight seems to satisfy it, but they're getting later and later each day because they're taking longer and longer to unload. So sooner or later, I'm not going to get them here at midnight. And as we approach that day, I am going to have to buy more log cars. Otherwise, I won't meet my contract. And I haven't dared put this up another tier because guess what? I'd have to buy more log cars. Which would make the shunting more complex because I'd need to use more log loading points. I'm actually ignoring most of them. I use the same ones every time. Doesn't seem to make any difference. You reset the carriage destinations and try somewhere else, they still load slowly. Windy day on the railway today. It's amazing how much freight just gets left around the joint. No one touches it. Left a big box like that round here somewhere and turned you back for 5 seconds, there'd be someone in it. Rummaging around, trying to figure out what you had in there. Whether they could pinch it and get some money for meth. Looks like we're approaching Dillsborough, home of pickles. Probably got a heap of shunting to do here too. How else would I use up 10 minutes? Excuse me yawning away. It's pretty late at night here. I'm just getting this done before I go to bed so I can get a video out. Hopefully my yawning doesn't bother anybody. These AI drivers do love their whistles. Down at Silver now. What's this? Passengers or freight? No, it's freight. So we did all that shunting back there at Dillsborough and I didn't bother showing you. That's probably a good thing. Of course, when you get this giant long train down to Silver, and I have to pick up more stuff on the way, so stay tuned. But it's a little long. for the staging sidings. So I have to break it up, but of course I've already got carriages down there, so, you know, could do with some space. It looks like they're coming out to see if the pulpwood's filled up yet. Doesn't look like it has. Sitting here in the early evening light. More of those purple flowers hanging around here. Driver's turned up in the siding and gone, oh shit, carriages aren't loaded. Gonna be here for a while. So he knows his 12-hour shift's gone out the window and it's going to turn into a 16-hour shift. So after we got everything down to Silver and sorted out, there was some more shunting down at the factories down near Silver, near the interchange. Had to, excuse my itchy nose. Had to deal with all of that. And of course it's now, what, 5 hours later? Looks like it. 5 hours later in real time, because I'm running the game in a 1-to-1 clock that's at the moment. So yes, this took a little while. And this poor bugger's not even going home to his home depot tonight. I'm just shoving him in here, because by this point I've kind of had enough. And here comes a dangerous propelling move on the main line. Why? Because it saves me running around it at Whittier. So he's dumped his pulpwood off at Silver to keep the factories down there running. So now he's busily heading back to get these into the loading point. While the other bloke's heading into the shed slowly, having cold and watered, going, yes, I'm going to have a bit of a snooze in the tender. There you go, that's him put away for the night. And we've still got our little fella barreling up through here. He's just come through the tunnel. It's got a while to go, of course. Don't have long to go in this video, though. There's only about another 4 or 5 minutes left. There you go, finish all the shunting, put the pulpwood away. Just filling up with coal now. I make a habit of filling up the locos with coal at the end of the day so they're ready first thing in the morning and I don't have to do any messing around. It just makes life simpler, really. Clearly it did some hard work today. It's taken a while to fill that coal bunker up. There we go, coal's done. Have I done water at this point? Or do we have to go back and get water? No, in a tick. There we go, I've woken up. That was naughty, I left it in gear. Must have already done water, because back we're going into the shed. Thus ending day 16, which in real time did it over 4 days, probably between 3 and 5 hours each day. So it pretty much took as much time as it would actually take in a 24-hour period, because we start the day at 6 AM and it's getting into 11 PM putting this loco in the shed, and we're just finishing up for the day. So yes, it's dramatic. It's like a real railway, really. It's full of hurry up and wait. I'm firing on the real railway this weekend. I've hardly done any coal runs since qualifying on the oil burner because I keep getting it for no readily apparent reason. And I've got to fire all the way to the end of the line up the big hill into Gembrook. Life just doesn't get better than that. There we go. That's it. Have fun, folks. See you later.
We played a game.
Yes, we did.